That mother back there is not real.
There was a group of reptilians there, and they stood around me in a circle.
Tradition tells us that the army of the Messiah is not to come from heaven, but is to rise from inner earth.
Truth seekers, this is a day. And in fact, it's a good day because I think a lot of people need to probably take account when we start talking about aliens and parasites that we might be talking about the same thing. And so tonight I got someone here. He has a theory about this and that these aliens are parasites too within our body. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight so that you not only get ready for these holidays and what you're about to put in your body, especially if it's some ham. I'm not telling you not to, but maybe you're going to put an alien in your body tonight. And I know, okay, yeah, it sounds far-fetched and everybody's like, yeah, what is he talking about? But I'm telling you, aliens are just not hanging around in the sky somewhere, or walking around, but they can be. All right, so when we get my guy Doc B and his camera back on here, we will be getting going here in just a second. But either way, one of the things about it, we want to discuss that. So Doc B, I'm just going to hit it right out. Why, in your opinion, you say aliens are parasites as well?
Well, if you look at the definition of a parasite, it's a being that, number one, it needs a host.
Okay.
2, it uses the energy or nutrition of the host.
Okay.
3, it uses the host to procreate or to take it to another being where it can procreate.
Okay.
That's a parasite. Para means beside.
Okay.
Site means basically life that lives beside you. Some of the parasites are possibly indigenous to the planet Earth,
Okay.
but many of them are indigenous to other places, other realms. There's mental parasites. These
Okay.
are ideas and experiences that live in your mind and use your energy, using you as a host. Then there's psychic parasites, ones that use the waves of energy that come from you or around you, and they use that as their food. Some of them are off-worlders. They don't necessarily live here. They can be anywhere in space, anywhere on another planet, drawing on the energy of people of the planet. And one group of energetic parasites uses the energy of sadness, pain, anger, fear, all of that as their food. So for them, it behooves them to keep people separated, to keep people in pain, to keep people fighting, because that's the vapor, the energy
Right.
that they use.
Right. So I think that when I study reptilians and I study archons and, our course, our whole group is all about, my community is these energy harvester, people or things or entities and some people don't think how deep it can go, but even though we call archons, we call some of these reptilians and different demonic things parasites. So I don't think it's inverted, but when you think about a parasite in our body, it's just like one of these demonic archons. It's controlling, it's manipulating, it's making you do things you don't want to do, such as eat things that it wants you to eat. Like you said, and we know the archons and parasites or these things feed off fear. They feed off, discord, or what I would call at some point chaos, right? Where is it with the system? Now I'm going to talk conspiracy for a minute, because we already know, and there's a conspiracy of the existence of these reptilians, these parasitic entities, these archons. And we know who is putting them out here. Is it possible that these same factions are putting internal parasites in us?
Well, if you were an alien race
Right.
and you'd like to control someone at a distance or
Mhm.
like to do research at a distance, you create probes, drones, you have vehicles and these things that you could use, instruments that you could use to see, feel, or control somebody from afar.
Right.
So think of an alien group of beings that are so far advanced that they could create biological entities that actually infect people and control their activities. In fact, if you begin to think about it, this makes the most sense of all because there was a time supposedly when we weren't always at war fighting each other, but then something happened. They say my teacher told me 6,000 years ago something came to the all over the planet around that time and infected the cats. This is the what we call the modern day hybridized cat. Actually, maybe created it because they popped up as a very weird, different type of animal. So we're not talking about the wild cats. We're talking about the domesticated cats.
Okay.
In this cat is a parasite called toxoplasma. Toxoplasma lives in the amygdala of the animals that it infects. It started in cats, but it's not just in cats now. It's in most of the feedlots. In fact, they say up to 70% of the people have this parasite, which controls their emotions, which gets them to do things that they normally may not do. It gets them to feel and to see things in a very special way. So this parasite, toxoplasma, fits all. First of all, it's a super bug because it's very hard to get rid of. You can't just take your old parasite cleanse that you think is going to kill parasites because everybody talks about this. Oh, just use cloves and wormwood and pumpkin seeds and green black walnut hulls and diatomaceous earth, and they mention these simple formulas.
Yeah.
That is going to deal with your intestinal parasites, but what we're talking about today is systemic parasites.
Gotcha.
Throughout the system. And if this is living in the brain, how are you going to get those herbs, those what they call phytochemicals into the brain? Because the brain is a very sensitive device. It's a very sensitive organ, and it has a blood-brain barrier, which protects most things, even a lot of what you call your herbal supplements from reaching the brain because it's too sensitive. It would kill it. It would damage it. So you have to have something that's going to change the frequency of the body, change the frequency of the blood, change the frequency of the cerebral spinal fluid. This is the challenge. You see? So there's one herb. There's no one product. Like I realized in 1996, I had a experience in the Bermuda Triangle. And in my book, which is coming out soon, I talk about this. And I was downloaded with information. I was taken for about 4 hours. In fact, I have the watch. My watch that is fused right here. This is the actual watch that on when I went into this vortex and had 4 hours of missing time. And when I came out, I had all these formulas in my head, all these ideas. And I realized when I went to a Dogon priest, what had happened to me. I had been taken and shown some very special sacred information about the beings that were controlling most of the people on the planet. And I realized these are parasites.
Right.
These are superbugs. And a lot of what we have, let's go back to toxoplasma, they're like drones. They're like, these are instruments that have been placed in us, that are controlling our emotions. So when the mouse or the rat eats the feces of the cat, which is already very weird, why are they attracted to feces and urine when normally that would be something a mouse or a rat would stay away from? Anything to do, but they've been manipulated in their heads. So they're attracted and they get turned on and everything around this substance from the cat. And some people say, "Oh, Dr. B, you're making this stuff." Well, go get some kitty litter and look on the back. There's a warning about toxoplasma and toxoplasmosis in the kitty litter, but it rewires the brain of the mouse. So now the mouse or the rat is not even afraid of the cat. Normally, naturally you'd be trying to hide or get away from it because this is your enemy. This is going to be your destroyer. But they don't, because their brain has been rewired. And this particular parasite manipulates your perception of emotions. Some things that you shouldn't be afraid of, you're afraid of. There's a lot of things that people are just afraid of because somebody said it. It's on the news, it's on the social media, and you're all scared and worried. You have no proof. But because it's on some social media and somebody said it really strong, or there was a book about it, or you went to a lecture about it, now you live in fear. In fact, most people are thinking mostly about things that they're afraid of most of the time. This is the mindset that we're in now. We react more to things that are scary and evil. This particular parasite is controlling people all over the planet and getting them to act and react outside of their normal actions. And one of the things that you see less and less of is courage, because it rewires you. You see? So you're afraid of some things you shouldn't be afraid of, and some things that you need to be careful of and be aware of, you're not. So now this parasite gets to control what you eat, how you act, how you respond. And you're always looking outside of yourself for validation. You're always looking for somebody to tell you what to do, some group of people. You're waiting for somebody to return to save you, instead of realizing that we must save ourselves. But if your brain has been rewired, you have no idea. You can't think straight. You're not thinking in your own mind. So, excuse me, an alien group of beings that wants to control this realm.
Yeah.
And even begin the terraforming process of heating up the planet, not just heating up the temperature, but heating up the anger and the fear and the frustration of people. This is how you control. This is how you get a system to break down, especially when it affects the women. You see, especially when it affects the women, because when you have something that affects the women and make down, they tell you women are super emotional. They weren't always super emotional like this. There's women on the planet that were the warriors. They went to go do the fighting. This is a mindset. This is a shift that has happened. So what we realize is that this manipulation process keeps us off balance. And when you're off balance, especially the feminine part of the nature of our people, you now are creating what they call a hive disorder, what they call community collapse disorder. You're going to cause the community collapse. You're going to cause the hive to collapse. Why? Because you've messed with the female, who's the one that gives the birth. And if she is off in her thinking, and if she's been manipulated and controlled, you're going to have colony collapse disorder. The whole thing is going to fall. Because the feminine is the one that gives birth. She's the one that trains the babies. So she is almost like you might as well say almost like an agent of the aliens. She's going to manipulate people, not even knowing it. She's not doing it on purpose. And the men are going to follow. This is a very special type of mind control or society engineering. Why would the people in power do the things they're doing? Think about it. Some of it don't even make any sense. You see, it's not sustainable. The way we're living right now is not sustainable. You keep sucking everything from the earth. You keep disturbing people. You keep flipping the narrative, changing the story, spinning everything. What is this good for? You see, what it is to keep everybody off, and everybody, so that they're putting out this vapor, this entity, just louvre, this vibration, this miasma, this energy that can be sucked up and drinking, there's a new word, drinking by those who would want to or choose to control people and make everybody, or at least 80% of the people, become host to energetic or psychoparasites, mental parasites, which is also connected to the physical parasites. Because I'm only talking about one parasite now, toxoplasma.
Right.
We didn't even get into the one that, that's in the mosquitoes. We didn't even talk about that one. Malaria.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question though. I mean, I understand, and this is where I try to connect the dots, right? Because somebody could be watching now and they're just thinking about, well, I eat healthy. But I'm talking about a bigger conspiracy, right? Like, we know everything is designed for someone to control, drain our energy, and use it, right? We're talking about loose gathering. Could the parasitic things in our bodies be a weapon of choice of the controllers, right? Because it's like they're trying to control our bodies of these humans any ways necessary, right? And we look at one way, but we missing something else, right? So yeah, we might go out and say, I'm conscious, I'm awake, and my vibration is high, but then you eat something that, yeah, it's coming from the inside now. It's like a Trojan horse. But when we start thinking about the same operation system that archons use, entities, some demonic type stuff, aliens that we would say, because anything foreign to our body is an alien anyway. But these parasites got eyes. These things got mouths. These things look like they are alive. They are, darn near can get out and walk if they wanted to. But we thinking aliens bigger. So why would people misunderstand that this could be part of a whole agenda? Or it could be. Could I be just totally off though, And
maybe not an agenda, but a system.
Yeah.
See, we think that something that would be more intelligent than us has to be big.
My point.
It has to be large. I saw a big silver ship in the sky. It was as big as 5 football fields. Why couldn't it be tiny, so tiny that a speck of dust could have a planet on it or a universe? These certain beings are tiny. Our ego says that things need to look kind of like what we perceive, but we can only perceive. They say, 10%. It may be only 1% of the actual spectrum of light and sound, even smell. All the spectrums, right? It's huge, and we're only seeing one small piece. And then we don't even know enough about history. We go back a couple thousand years and we think we know something. Who built those buildings? Those buildings where the detail is so amazing that they can't do this today. We think we know something. We're the most modern, and we've got AI. What would you need AI for when you had beings that were telepathic?
Right.
Everybody just knows. You see, and you can't tell me that artificial intelligence actually exists. You know why? Because it's not intelligent. It's scraped so much information from all the books, from everywhere, that doesn't make it totally intelligent. It means it's an incredible search engine, and it's going to give you anything you need to make you keep paying the $20 a month or whatever you're paying for. You feel like this is it. Oh my God, it's my best friend. It knows everything. It doesn't. It just can do research at a really fast rate. But if you're not careful, it becomes a parasite.
Right.
Because some folks can't think without it. Some folks can't think without social media. They can't think without their phone. So this is, you want to talk about something that could take over and crash the system. So we think we know. We know very little. Our knowledge is so vast. They got a study called epistemology. It's the study of the limits of knowledge.
Right.
Think about that. How do you study the limits of knowledge? How do you study what you don't know? You don't even know what's in the ocean. They may only know 10% of what's in the ocean. How many beings, creatures can live in the ocean? What about the stories about the beings that live inside the earth? What about beings that live inside of you?
True.
Mitochondria, they say, are like little alien creatures that don't even need you. They just all come together and hang out, but they don't need you. These are beings in life that we haven't even touched this. We haven't even scratched the surface.
But I got a question though, and I need it answered because, all right, yeah, I'm conscious and going unconscious, but I'm a conspiracy person, and I think anybody who in the conscious world started out as a conspiracy person anyway, because that's the only way you get to know something was wrong. Is it possible that someone is in a lab right now growing some whatever creatures, little bitty creatures that's small enough to be seen with their little alien telescope, and it's wiggling around, and then they say, okay, it has its own little egg sac or whatever. Now go and send it over to Tyson's Food and let them mix it in with the steak, and all of a sudden it gives birth when the right temperature hit in our body, and it works for them because it's alive, it's programmable, it's whatever. You get what I'm saying? Because it's doing the exact same thing that a demonic archon does. It controls, it zaps your energy. It's mimic the same thing, and they have a purpose. You know
what it is that when you are not a naturally powerful person, you can't tap into your own true inner power. You just get into forcing your agenda on other people. See, there's a difference between power versus force.
Okay.
Power is your natural power, your innate power to do things like bend a spoon. Almost anybody could do it if they learned how. Be telepathic, know when your gut is telling you not to do something. How many people out there today are using their gut instinct?
Well, if it's something in your gut saying do something, eat it, drink it.
The gut is not talking a lot of times. That's the cranial brain.
Controlled by
your thoughts, your memory, and what you've been programmed with, your beliefs. A lot of the beliefs that you have are unbelievable. Some of the things that you think
that's
are
fair
true.
enough.
Some of the things that you think are true or that you believe. You see, a lot of folks haven't actually seen beings. They haven't actually seen ships, real ones, that are changing and shape-shifting right in front of them.
Right.
I have. I'm from a place where I grew up where it's nothing but experimental labs everywhere. I'm from Connecticut. You study Connecticut.
Okay.
They've got, first of all, that's where they were making the nuclear subs. That was not far from us.
They make Cheetos there too, don't they?
You see many of the Sikorsky aircraft. There's a bunch of them right there in my neighborhood. So we were seeing things and experimental things all the time that, a lot of the technology that we have is from off-worlders. They come, but it's just the thing where when you have to manipulate other people and other beings, you don't have true power. You can use force, you can use manipulation, you can lie. And even when we're doing research, we think we found the truth. Oh man, I found something that's deep. But what you don't realize, there's something deeper than that, something deeper than that. No matter how deep you go, right, there's something deeper than that. The bottom line here is that we are at a point where we are self-manipulating now.
Right.
We're self-replicating. We have become parasites too. Because look at if a group of people have been subjugated, if a group of people have been, enslaved or hurt, you see, and you have an oppressor. If you've lived and you were born in an oppressive system, you're living in sin. Sin means to miss the mark. You're in a family of mark missers. It means to not hit the target. Then you grow up with a certain language, and language can be parasitic. One of the most parasitic things is language. Look at the definition of a parasite again. It needs a host, you.
Absolutely.
It uses the energy and power and consumes the life force of another thing. And it uses you to travel from thing to thing. Language can be a parasite. Most of the words we use in English, you have no idea what the root of them is.
So what keeps a parasite from not being a virus? It moves from...
Basically, it is.
Okay.
it's a virus. And then you have retroviruses. Retroviruses are ones that actually you got that virus a long time ago, but it doesn't turn on until you've been through a certain type of trauma or electromagnetic force or certain vibration, or you heard a certain tone. A lot of the music that we're listening to right now has these tones in it that's actually manipulating you and keep you from being at your highest level. It's causing you to self-limit, because after you've been in oppression for a long time, you become oppressive. Now you're out of oppression. Now the oppressor is gone, but you've become the oppressor. You may not oppress others, but you may oppress yourself. But a lot of people who've been oppressed for a long time, the minute they get a chance, they oppress other people that they think they can get over them. This is manipulation. This is a parasite. So we live in a whole society of parasites. In fact, my book will be out very soon. So make sure you go to elevationtime.com, and check out the book that's coming out.
You're going to bring the book to Dallas too when you come, right?
If it's ready, if it's printed up.
I
break this down because we don't realize that these tiny creatures manipulate our behavior and shape society. We've been shaped, the way we act, the way we look at things. I mean, even the germ theory. Oh my God, if you get germs, this is going to happen. See, these are theories. Almost everything here is a theory. It's not based on actual fact, because they have to keep changing the story. You think that people you're like, well, a virus, they've got a virus. Did you know when I was at UCLA, I used to teach at UCLA, and I was in the biomedical lab hanging out with the scientists, and I asked them, could I see a virus? And I said, what do you mean? So could you show me one in the microscope? They showed me everything else. They said, well, we don't really have a virus. What do you mean? It's a theory. It's too small to see. Huh? What are you talking about? Well, there's a concept. I said, well, look, on Time magazine, they showed pictures of HIV and all this kind of stuff. He said, those are pictures that were made in Photoshop. They're concepts. Even when you look out at space and you see all those colors, those are manipulated images. And if you tell a story enough time, what happens? People begin to believe it. That's the truth. It's the truth. They say, well, the government did this. Actually, the government doesn't even have as much power as you think they have.
Yeah.
It's the belief that they have this power. Or the president, do you think the president is at the highest level here?
Well, I think a lot of people don't think. I mean, a lot of people think so, even when they go stand in line for 16 hours and vote.
I'm saying that's got to do with electoral has got to do with electrons. It's got to do with electricity and voltage, voting. You understand what I'm saying? This is about
I don't
energy.
think they don't understand the word spells of all this stuff. Yeah.
And like I said, language is a parasite. You got to be very careful when you're speaking to know what you're saying and what it is. You see what I'm saying?
I used to, this was last year, you know how you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm the elephant in the room. Then I start realizing I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, you know what? Nah, let's cut that word out.
You see, you got to watch it, because a lot of what we're saying, we're creating.
I know, right?
A lot of folks are projecting. You're projecting your belief into what you call the future, or casting energy into the quantum field called wave casting.
Right.
And after you cast the spell and cast the energy and cast your words and cast your vibration, guess what? It materializes. Though your words matter, if you keep repeating them and keep saying them over and over, those energies begin to collapse and pull together, right? Think about it. And become matter. Almost everything we know of started with mind, our thoughts, words, and actions.
Right.
So when we change our thoughts, when we change our words and change our actions, we change our life. And we actually can do a timeline jump. You could make a choice tonight. Like folks who've done my parasite cleanse, and they've done all kinds of parasite cleanse. I can even get some of the parasite specialists who have their own cleanse come do mine. And they're like, man, what happened? That's because I'm not just using some herbs, because you can't just do this with herbs. And I'm a master herbalist. I've been an herbalist for 40 something years. And people say, well, herbs can do everything. They can't. That's not the whole truth. Sometimes you're going to need some essential oils. You're going to need flower essences. You're going to need monoatomic elements. You're going to need magnetism, electromagnetism. You're going to need light. You're going to need a lot of things that really get to the root of or the core of our issues.
Yeah.
Because this thing goes deep, 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 deep. So when we think of aliens, we don't realize that we may just be the aliens.
Oh, now, I gather that one when people always be like, Roderick, what do aliens look like? And all that. I said, what if we look like them? And I don't think a lot of people grasp that, but they don't go back to what our ancestors left. The evidence has been everywhere, right? And so when it comes back down to everything, I think the hardest thing, it was in the movie Men in Black. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if it was Men in Black 1 or 2, but they were looking for the galaxy, right? And everybody's looking for this big thing in space. And the guy said, you humans are always whatever. The galaxy could be anywhere. And it was in the collar of the cat, right? And so I think of that as the parasitic world, where it's not big out here. It's not what we think. And then I do think it's the ultimate. We already know they create bioweapons. We already know they do this. But for me to, like I said, and I'll double back, for me to look at the same exact process of archons, because we talk about that same energy zapper. I talk about, and if you go back to the story of the Meuge and the archons, the watchers, all of this stuff, it comes all the way back down that they call them parasites, right? And they all attacking us the same way. It's the same thing I was reading here, what a parasite does. It's the host, it's draining the life force, whatever, constantly. And then you have an internal parasite. It looks just like an alien, just a little bitty thing if you put it under a microscope. And it's like everything out here is something about us as who we are, the creator, the light beings that we are, that light energy or whatever that is, self, source, or whatever we want to call it, it's so powerful that everything out here is designed to suck it out of us in one form or another. In order to do that, they create another false reality of keeping us argumentative. They keep us, the social media, all these other things are down to keep it so low that those parasites can feed. And I saw some device today that you just turn on this frequency, it's supposed to just kill the bugs. I don't know. But the whole point is now it's time to be a little suspect of it all, because whether, like you said, we trying to fight them this way, fight them that way, are we trying to fight them in the mind? We're trying to fight them in our sleep. We're trying to fight them through church, some people. We're trying to fight them through meditation. We're trying to fight them through eating greens or like you say, herbs, whether it's lights, whether it's magic oil. It's a battle of the unseen and seen. Huh?
Here's the situation.
Yeah.
Something has got us fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you realize that, when you understand the art of war, you realize that fighting is not the key.
Yeah.
Because the biggest enemy that we'll ever have to deal with is our own internal enemy. Mm. Somebody told us, fight. We're fighting cancer. We're fighting heart disease. We're fighting.
Symbolism of fight, everything.
Fight. That is the
fight the power.
Parasite.
Fight the power. Mm-hmm.
We got to change the frequency. Okay, so check it out. Here's my telephone, right?
All right, hold that thought. We got to have a little quick commercial break. We got to pay the bills here. So let me do our quick. It's just 30 seconds, folks. So y'all hang on.
If you're in Texas or anywhere in the area, you have to be at this event. Your body and let go of all the things that are outside of this ball. This is going to be on December the 20th. We'll be doing a lecture talking about decoding the true Christmas story, the one they hid from you. That's the one that's deep, that has to do with your pineal and you being able to manifest your life. Also, we're going to be offering a core access experience where you'll learn how to get into yourself, create a new self, rewrite your DNA, become who you came here to be. This is going to be an amazing time. We'll be with Roderick Martin, Truth versus Authority, Knowledge Beyond Reality event coming to Texas. And if you're anywhere in the area, you want to make sure you're at this event. We're also going to be offering a special VIP event where you get to hang out with me. We're going to eat together. We're going to talk together. And you can ask questions, and we're going to dig deep, go deeper than you've ever gone before. This is your time to wake up. Don't be asleep. Wake up and get right. It's time for you to celebrate your life.
Look, now when we do that core access experience at the event next week, we're going to get some parasites out and everybody's walking around. Release it. Is that enough energy to get one?
That process is one of the most effective processes for releasing some of the things that you have been downloaded, some of the things that you have taken on, and some of the ideas that you have stored up inside of you, which we call cargo, boxes of cargo inside yourself. That process, the core access experience, when it came to me, I had been working with clients for many years doing, because, I'm a psychological kinesiologist. So what we do is we use muscle testing and different language syntax to get people to rewrite their code, their memories, their feelings. And it's very effective. But I had been working with a couple clients and nothing would work, no matter what. But then something came to me. I was given this information on how to remove boxes of luggage or cargo inside of us that we didn't even know what it was. Because, you go to a therapist a lot of times and you can become, re-traumatized because you remember something now you didn't even remember before. Your body was trying to save you from it. But there's a lot of things that you don't know. You can't remember. There's things going on right now that your mind can't even detect. Like right now, there's beings in this room, and because of my sensitivities, I can see them. There's beings everywhere. There's not just you.
Yep.
There's things that you can't detect it. You see? So there are things in us that we don't even know is there. So when we do this process, first of all, we're using sound. I have these special instruments that I created that can take us into the theta state. The theta state is the place in between sleeping and awake. That's a brain state. Gotcha. That's where meditation happens. A lot of creativity happens. This is where you can actually change your mind state in the theta state. But a lot of folks are trying to get there. They're trying to meditate and they're breathing. And it's all these techniques to get you there. I'm not saying they don't work, but for some of us, it's really challenging. And we also need to be guided somewhere. So through this, we're doing a guided meditation to take people down into their subconscious basement. And down there in that place is where you've got all the hidden goods, all the old stuff, things you don't even remember, things that were passed down to you by ancestors and left to you by aliens and creatures and goblins. And there's all kinds of energies out there that you're carrying. And in this process, we take you through this guided meditation using sound, using frequency, using tone and rhythm to get some of that debris out. We can't get it all. And we take it outside. This, and I don't want to give it away, but I don't know of any technique that I have ever done or been a part of that's this powerful. And some of you in the audience may have actually done this. We did a few here in Los Angeles. I mean, we did some in Los Angeles many years ago, but we've started doing them here in Atlanta. We've done like 2 people's lives change, whether it's mental, physical, their love life, their financial life, because you're working on things your conscious mind is attempting to deal with subconscious issues. Your conscious mind can only process maybe 7 individual pieces of information a second. And it sounds like a lot.
Right.
But your subconscious can process over 13 million computations a second. It remembers everything. It hears everything, even from 10, 15 feet away that you didn't even hear in your mainstream ear. Your mindset heard it. You felt it. When you go into a crowd, you're feeling the whole crowd. You're feeling the energy of everybody, and you're carrying that.
Right, right.
How many alien energies are you carrying? How many thoughts that you have that are actually alien thoughts that you would never think? How many people out there have lost the concept of disgust? How many people out there? There's a whole thing that we forgot, that we would normally be disgusted. We wouldn't do this. But now, after a little time, we do it a little bit. We do it a little bit at a time. And all of a sudden we get used to this stuff, and it's okay. It's okay. There was a time when there's a lot of things that if we had the sense of disgust, we wouldn't be involved with. There's things we wouldn't say, things we wouldn't do. But over time, we have let a lot of that go because we are going along with what's happening with society and what everybody says. Well, it must be okay. It must be all right.
Right.
You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't cook in aluminum pots. You wouldn't wear plastic, sleep in plastic, put plastic in your body. You wouldn't do it. If your mind was clear and not being controlled from some alien mindset. And this is not even evil. This has just got to do with you taking on the habits of others.
Right.
Going along with everybody. So we want to blame it on somebody and we start getting that victim mindset. No, the biggest issue is the one we have within ourselves. So when we do the core access experience, it pulls a lot of that stuff out. It's amazing. It's the most powerful change experience that I've ever been involved in.
So what would a person who think that they're doing all right, because doing all right is normal, because I can equate, there was a time that I may struggle in a habit, right? And they think they have the right energy. What shift will they know when they attend and they come out of here in Dallas, because it's your first time here, so you're going to rock it. What do they need to really, really look for? I mean, are they going to just walk out like, something? And we ain't talking church, the Holy Spirit, and then they jumped out. We're talking, they're going to know there's a shift. They're going to know now there is a timeline shift because something was released that wasn't supposed to be there. Yes?
It's almost, see, things that are mysterious, a mystery is something that you can't really truly explain.
It's not okay.
We try to explain a mystery. Look at the word mystery. Look at the etymology, and it says no tongue. It can't be explained. You ever try to explain something that happened to somebody and say, "Oh yeah, the same thing happened to me"? Come on, man. I didn't even explain it all because there's not enough English words, right, to even explain this the way it really is. I'm telling you that it's a mystical experience. There's people who've said they've done all kinds of things. They've played with DMT, mushrooms, ayahuasca. They've done all this stuff, frog. They've done a lot of that. Almost everybody that does the core access experience says that this was the greatest shift in change they ever felt. Not saying that those other things are not great. They're all good. They're all tools. But when you do this, we're changing you at the core. We're changing the energy around your DNA. This is epigenetics. We're using quantum physics. We're using about 25 different techniques in this process to get a person to wake up from the deep sleep, to get a person to help take out some of their own trash and stop looking at everybody else and blaming everybody else for their problems and going inward to ourselves so we could tap into the divinity code that's in us all. We all have it. It's just that we've been programmed. We've been involved in, chronic servitude syndrome. We just serve it. They just automatically servants. We always want to help and we just want to help. We always want to talk and explain things, and we want to show everything and show everybody our business. This is what I'm eating today. This back in the day. Putting your children who you're supposed to protect on the internet in front of your house with your address and your car and it's crazy because people have lost their natural minds, but it's changing. We're shifting. The earth is the vibration of the planet is speeding up. People are waking up every day. Maybe something's off. And you may
Yeah.
have been involved in something for years. You've been using your sage and doing all these rituals and ceremonies. But what you realize is that if you don't change something, if you don't change what you're doing, and if you keep trying to use ancient techniques, and the thing about ancient techniques is you really can't do them because you
Yeah.
don't drink the same water they drink. You're not breathing the same air they breathe. There's a word, breathe. That's breathe in the past. Breathe. Write
Yeah.
that one down. You're not them. You're not those ancient people. So you think you understand what those symbols are saying, but your mind can't even perceive it because you've been born under duress. You've been born under pressure. You've been missing the mark. You have no idea. Most people don't even know what it's like to drink real water. They don't even know what it's like to even eat real food. Most of the food that we're eating is so hybridized and so changed and so shifted that you're not getting the true food that you. Why did they come up with a plan to get rid of almost all female plants on public properties in the United States?
Well, they're doing it now.
Bearing plants. Why would you do this? So most of what people are eating is seedless. It's senseless, but we just do. We got to do it. Even a lot of your health food is actually hell food.
Yeah.
Plant-based. Oh, it's plant-based. Was made in an industrial plant. How
That's
many chemicals
magic.
did it take to make this thing look like a piece of meat? You might as well go eat the meat. Just pray over it. Use all the prayers. I don't know. You can change the energy over anything once you get back in control of your vehicle. We are space beings. We're travelers, but we have bought into being stuck. We believe it, so we can't fly because we don't believe we could.
Yeah.
But you fly at night when you're traveling. My point here is that on the 20th, we're going to do two things. One, I'm going to talk about the real Christmas. The Christmas that you've been given or you believe in is a codified story, a deep story about something inside you. That is a deep, and when you hear it, you're like, oh, wow, this makes so much sense. It's actually more ancient than the Christian era. It's very old where it comes from.
Right.
So we're going to talk about that in the lecture. So this is a two-part thing. We're going to do the lecture, and I'm going to drop some information about language and about subconscious alignment and give you some things that you might be able to do every day that would change your life. There's a couple words you could use every day that would change your life. Just a few. Just exchange a couple words in your life that will change everything. And it's almost so too simple. You say, well, I've been doing everything all around the world and studying all these books. And it's really simple. But most people you're not going to see this on the internet because I had 13 mentors.
Mm-hmm.
It's things that I was sworn in oaths that I can't even repeat until a certain time. But I've been given permission to come to Dallas and give some information in a way that I've never given it before. So that's going to be in the morning. Then in the afternoon, we're going to do the core access experience. This is a workshop. It's a separate thing. Some folks don't want to do this because you're not going to come. If you come, you won't be coming home. In other words, the you that went to the event won't be coming home because you'll be brand new. You'll look at things and the colors will look different. Sounds will sound different. You'll start noticing certain birds. You'll start noticing hummingbirds. You start noticing butterflies. You can hear the leaves all of a sudden. You walk outside in the rain and you'll feel the water like you never felt it before because you're going to have a quantum shift. It's guaranteed. So you get to choose. You can come to the lecture. That's going to be great. But if you'd like the solutions and the answers, then you come to the workshop. And then that VIP dinner where we can sit around and eat and you can ask some questions that we couldn't answer in the talk, in the lecture, and in the workshop. We're talking about shifting everything.
Yeah.
And this is something that I'm not trying to convince you to come. In fact, I'm telling you, maybe you shouldn't come. You should. You know what?
I was just
most people aren't ready to become who they could be.
I was getting ready to say that. I was getting ready to just say, what if somebody just laying in the bed and then after they done left and they look over and like, who the fuck is you? You know what I mean? It's like everything done shifted. Like, who is this person I've been with all this time? Because I think a saying that most people, and this is something I want all of you to write this down. Until the pain of change outweigh the pain of remaining the same, would one change? And I think that is what happens with people, right? And we're just at this moment where that they have normalized the way you feel and see the world so good that even when you think you having a good day, you don't know you can have a great day. And I was going to say that I think some people will be afraid of truth. They will, and you know how you just know the day I want to change, I can walk through that door in Dallas. But do I really? What am I getting ready to give up? Because they're going to start weighing. Well, you know, this person I'm with, they're really not my person, but my cousin, my friends I'm hanging around there, because somehow they're going to look back and it's going to change a little bit. But are they prepared for this? And do they really want it? Because that's why I think most people don't take the journey, because they are weighing what gets behind. It's like going up a stairwell and you can only use one of your legs, and then all of a sudden the bottom leg stay at the bottom ground. The top leg only can go so far without you moving the bottom leg to leave things behind to begin to go up the stairs. I think some people just go enough that both legs are split, and that's about the highest they go. So they got 1 foot down there and 1 foot up here until they move that bottom one, which is making a decision, exploring things of the unknown, so to speak. They stay in both worlds and they think it's normal.
You know, I remember the first time I talked to Dr. Bruce Lipton. He's the one that basically pioneered epigenetics.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who actually urged me to go and learn this psychological kinesiology. So shout out to brother Dr. Bruce Lipton.
Right.
And he was talking about this experiment they did where they had 3 sets of people who all needed knee surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they showed a movie of the operation, what it was going to look like, so everybody could see what was going to happen. So they cut the person's knee open in the movie, in the video, and they did the operation. Then they took the first group. They cut their knees open. This is a control group. And they fixed the ligaments or whatever was, damaged in their knee and sewed them up. The second group, they opened up their knee and sprayed water and sewed them back up. Didn't fix anything, just sprayed water.
Mm-hmm.
The third group, they cut their knee open but did nothing and sewed it back up. And then they told all of the groups, we've done the operation and, it was successful. Let's see how you heal. Did you know that all 3 groups healed? In fact, the ones that they just did nothing or sprayed water healed a little bit faster. And their knee was fixed. Their knee was as if they fixed the ligaments.
Yeah.
The ones who actually had the ligaments sewn back together, they healed too. But what do you mean? The ones that you didn't do anything to? What about this? You have people who have heart disease, kidney disease, even cancer. And somewhere along the line, they have an accident and hit their head and they get amnesia. They said that the people couldn't remember the illness.
Right.
And after 6 months, the ones who couldn't remember the illness healed.
Wow.
They couldn't remember it because you keep rethinking it. And each time you go to the doctor, he's going to tell you, well, how's the cancer doing? Your family comes around and talking slow. Hi, Sarah, how are you? How are you feeling? Because they've got that they feel sorry for you. And, you're sad and the pain. And everybody is reinforcing the idea that you're sick. Imagine that you could go to a place in your mind where there was no sickness in your mind. Well, you didn't believe it because you are believing in what they say is true. You're believing in reality and calling reality something that is not because you have been programmed to believe that things are real. In other words, the Kung Fu master can break a brick. You hit the brick and break your hand. Well, the Kung Fu, the martial artist, does not realize or cannot conceive that the brick is solid. That's your mindset that something is solid. Because if you get a microscope and look at that brick or look at that wood or look at that plastic or anything, and you turn up the dial, you turn up the magnification, you find out that there's no solidity. There's more empty space in everything than anything else. So it's your mindset that's being programmed by your world or by the aliens or by the people in charge or by your parents or by your math teacher and all this kind of stuff. I mean, come on now. It's all beliefs. And once we can break those spells, everything changes.
Yeah.
How is it that we're able to this year, 2025, be on the internet right now, broadcasting to the entire planet? Roderick is in full control. He has the devices, whatever he needs. He's got the mic to broadcast all over the world. Go back 20 years. He couldn't do this. How much equipment would you need to do this 20 years ago? It was impossible. But now all of a sudden it's possible. Because anything is possible, but it's your beliefs that's got to change. And to change a belief sounds easier than it really is. You see, but it may not be easy to change, but it will be simple if you take certain steps. So what we're going to do in Dallas is give you certain steps so that the person that walks into this event will be a totally different person that walks out. And those of you who have known Dr. B, I don't play. I might have jokes and stories and all that, make it fun, but I actually have experienced some very deep things in my life. I'm not just talking about what I heard about. I don't have references. I have a referent, which means I have actual experiences in how to get people to change quickly and teach you how to change yourself if you're ready. And we're going into 2026. Oh, you better get ready because this is the year of the fire horse. This thing is moving fast. When you understand what the fire horse is about on the Chinese calendar, or you're going to have to hold on because what they're preparing you for right now is for you to get thrown off the horse. It's all an illusion, though. But it's also the time when we get to rise from the sand like the phoenix, the rise from the ashes. Because by 2027, this is going to be a whole new planet. We're going to be brand new people. And that DNA that they call junk DNA is going to come online. But imagine you got new DNA, but you don't know how to drive the ship. You don't know what to do because you're caught up in the old beliefs. You're still protecting your captors. A lot of folks don't realize you're protecting the system that you say you hate or you don't like. A lot of folks who get conscious, they get very judgmental. They get evil and they're mad most of the times. And they're supposed to be eating this vegan food, but you got an asshole attitude. You got an acid attitude. You got acid thoughts and acid dreams. And you become asinine because you're tripping because you think that the food is real. Nothing is solid. You have to create a new world for yourself, a new movie. And that's what we're doing right now, helping folks write a new movie. Why did we have this event on the 20th? Because the next day is the solstice. And the solstice of 2025, the winter solstice, is going to shift everything. And once you know how to calculate the real Christmas and what it really means, oh my gosh, you're unstoppable. Mentally, physically, spiritually, your love life, your financial life, everything begins to fall in place because they knew that we'd be waking up right about now. And they're doing everything they can to keep you asleep. Who are they? They live.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't. And I think we can help some people, right? Especially with decoding Christmas. And I know there's a lot of people watching us now that can't make it or they don't live in Dallas and all that. But we are going to stream the decoding Christmas section. I mean, that alone is going to bring you into the next year. And what I'm getting ready to do right now is on the screen, and I'll put it on here, limited right there. So just tonight, and I'm going to take it down, there is a code right there that says DEC for December 20 doc. There's a 25% discount if you go and want to watch us online. I mean, that is great. You go in there tonight, you want to put that discount code and watch that streaming part, you can do that. And I would advise it because I'm just this video will probably be taken down. Well, not taken down, but once we stop live streaming and anything else. So I just activated while we were talking. And you can go over there and, get the decoded Christmas and understand this, because you're going to be sitting under that magic that they've done 5 days later if you're unprepared. But I guarantee you'll go to someone's house prepared for what you did learn on the 20th, and nothing will be as it was ever again, And so that is my thing to you. Hopefully it's something that you all decide. And like I said, it's not going to stay up there forever anyway. So if you're watching this live, you got it, write it down, go there, go to Truth versus Authority, hit you'll see 2 pictures of him. One is in person and one is live. Click the one that's going to be for Decoding Christmas only. It'll say that the stream, put that in there and take that discount today, and just do it. And like I said, it's virtual, and you'll get everything you need from there.
There's a reason why we're doing it on the 20th, because a shift happens when the sun stops, the solstice. There's a whole arrangement in the cosmos that happens, a change in gravity, energy, light force, electromagnetic spectrum changes on that day. And then something begins to grow in you. Something becomes born in you that was coded. Now, some people say, well, Dr. B, you gave us the formula for the real Christmas during God Power. Yeah, I did. But guess what? You also need to know about drift and how the calendar drifts, and nothing in nature is exactly the same. So the calculation that we used before, it doesn't work. Some people are saying, well, Dr. B, something's wrong. Something's weird. No, everything has changed. The sky has changed. Have you looked up and seen the moon lately? It's in another place. Some people see this. So the sun looks different. It feels different. Birds are acting different because there's been a huge shift that the powers that be, right? The alien parasites, they in no way would like you to see or know that your lights are coming on right now. And you're about to become a very powerful person if your focus is in the right place. If you are focusing and you have a telos or a goal, and your chief aim is to get to a certain place, but it's the mass distraction that keeps us from actually arriving at our destinations.
Yep.
It's a mass distraction. Let me tell you, most of the stuff that you're getting on the internet is not exact. Most of it. All this talk, everybody's conscious. Everybody knows something deep right now. Everybody knows. But check out, the real information grows inside you. It's inside you.
Yeah.
The universe, it's inside you. It's not out there. There's no information in the books. I mean, all that stuff was good in the past, but it's all shifted. I got a whole big bookshelf here. It's huge, full of all these books. And it's like, that's information from the past. It's intel. Intel is when you go get information and bring it back. But now the information you bring back is from the past.
Yeah. So
you can't always use the old template and the old blueprint on now. Because everything that even I have said in the past, for those of you who have followed Dr. B, you've been to elevationtime.com, you've seen podcasts, all of that has changed. Everything is constantly in flux and changing and expressing itself differently. And this is a beautiful time to be alive. Don't get caught up in, oh boys, doom and gloom. It's the end of this. It's the beginning of a great situation. But most folks are going to miss it. Most folks are not going to be ready to invest. They're going to have this whole, poor, broke, lonely, not enoughness, and they don't know what to invest in because they've invested in so many things.
I got a theory for that one though. My messaging these last 2 weeks and month, and I woke up one morning and said, all right, the messaging is there's people out. I'm not discounting. They're out there investing, the whole thing, invest in yourself, invest in the knowledge. I don't think people understand it's time to invest in spiritual protection, right? Because you can go out there and gain all of that. But if they controlling the mind after you don't consume the information, you ain't going to get it to use. It's like a parasite intercepting the ball. You know, all of a sudden your mind triggered, all right, let's use what you learned from such and Doc B yesterday. And then they go and the parasite, got it, because it's not getting where it needs to go. They're controlling it. And I don't think people take spiritual protection knowledge, right? You want to invest in spiritual protection because they just think I got the knowledge on the outside world. And we need them both, right? Because you want it, but that just, when you said that they're, getting it, and all of a sudden they're just trying to figure out why this didn't work. I was at these seminars and all, and they're not understanding this is wonder twin power here. This is things that you have to put all, you got to put, when you go into a game, you need a total package. If the offense is off, the defense is off. And the defense is the spiritual protection. Oh yeah, you got a good offense, but the parasite's outscoring you. You know what I'm saying? They're winning the game. They got more points in your belly or your mind and all of this. It's time for us to play a full game. And I think spiritual protection and all that's part of it.
I'm just going to show you how the language parasite is real deep. There's a huge difference between spiritual protection and spiritual projection.
Okay.
Once you know how to project your spirit, your energy, your life force, you never have to worry about protection. Because as soon as you say protection, your subconscious goes into fight mode. Fight, flight, freeze. What can you do? What do you don't even know what do you mean, spirit? What does spiritual protection mean? What was trying to get me?
Yeah, I'm just gonna move down the alphabet now. Project, from protection to projector. We're gonna go backwards. But either way,
we've been fighting. Remember, I talked about fighting these diseases,
fighting all the time.
Fighting the enemy.
Get the war.
You don't
cry.
have to fight. Once you understand the art of war, and the art of war is not fighting.
Yeah,
we're going to change. We're going to transform spiritual protection. Change just a few. What's just a little letter to spiritual projection. Once you can project your feelings, your mindset, you create a whole nother paradigm. You can actually shift tracks. You can timeline shift when you get out of protection and fighting, which we've been in for 6,000 years or more, and start recreating things as projection. I'm a projection of the universe. I am projecting. I'm creating a vibrational state where I am totally in control. This is deep. We forgot this. If you had a farm 1,000 years ago, even 100 years ago, you got a farm, right? You grow corn or wheat or whatever. If you get up in the morning and say, "Oh God, I just want to pray that the praying mantises and the locusts and the betsy bugs and stuff don't come eat the corn," guess what?
They're gonna come.
The locust was 500 miles away, and they hear, "Oh, they're calling us.
It's corn there. They
just said, oh, it's some corn over there. Go." Yeah. They eat everything. Eat the corn. If that farmer walks out and he now says, "I just would like to be thankful for the great crop we have this year.
Right.
I would like to be grateful for the great yield and all the things that we have to make the soil fertile.
Yeah.
So that we can feed the world."
Yeah.
That's called projection. Being grateful in advance versus being fearful every day and talking mostly 80% of the time about the problem. Yeah. We were trained to do this. We're trained to be scared of these spiritual beings and aliens and creepy reptilii. A lot of people don't realize that there's a part of your brain called the reptilian brain.
I try to tell them.
That's the first part of your brain to develop, the reptilian brain. And that stays, and a lot of times it keeps you in fight or flight. But there's other 7 segments of the brain that when you bring this other stuff online and you tap into your gut feeling and you tap into using your pineal gland and stop talking about how it's calcified. Who told you this? You got to decalcify your pride. Who told you that? People say, "Well, Dr. B, you're a great parasite fighter." I don't fight parasites. You can't fight them. You must know how to outwit the devil, outwit your problems, outwit your own mind self, outwit the enemy by learning to project. We're going to be talking about that on the 20th. So I know that a lot of you who, are in town or in that area, you get something very special. Those of you who are going to be online, it's going to be amazing. And at a time when we right now are ready for the shift. We're not going to talk about what the enemy is doing and all that. We don't even know the enemy. And a lot of times, like I said, that enemy is inside us. So it's been great to be here, to be able to travel and to be able to do this interesting thing that we do with teaching folks. But right now, Dr. B's going into another mode. We're going to start teaching on another level. Yeah. And when that book comes out, which is coming soon, I'll let you know when it comes, you're going to be like, whoa, it was right in front of our eyes all the time.
And make sure y'all get my book, which is a bestseller. Doc B wrote a review, and actually, you wrote a review of it, and then the reprint now is getting that review in there. And it's the unspeakable truth. You can get that on Amazon right now. Billy got the foreword on the book. Forbidden Knowledge is the publisher, so make sure y'all go check that out. And just before you leave, I was driving today, and I almost ran in the back of someone. But the last few days, it's just been happening. And of course, I was on my phone doing some stuff. So I was telling, we was having a meeting today, and I was telling one of our team members the story. And one of the things I was like was, man, I'm getting ready to go back and make sure I get all of these whatever trying to make me have a car wreck. And she said, no, you need to go think that you didn't have a car wreck, because whoever it was warning you because you were distracted. And I thought about that. And so this evening I'm riding, and all of a sudden I'm going down the street, somebody comes up, and I go, oh hell, I'm being distracted, and yeah. So we, like you said, it's the projection and how we see it, right? This way, that way. And I thought that was just a powerful moment of, hey, no, you did not have a wreck. So go think whoever, whatever, to keeping you safe, instead of you think somebody's trying to do something.
The language,
yes,
can be your liberator or your lockdown. People say, I had a near-death experience. Well, how close were you to death? I mean, every breath is a near-death experience. Right. It's the language of struggle. It's the language of pain. It's the language of disempowerment that we use. And when we change our language, we change our lives. It's about changing the language. And so you think in language. So when we change our thoughts, we change our words, we change our actions. Right. It's about being empowered right now. We've been fighting, we've been mad, we've been upset, we've been hurt, we've been traumatized in the past. But a door just opened up. And I'm going to tell you how you know it opened up. Because right now, whether it's in the media, in politics, religion, right now, everything is being thrown at you. Yeah. They're throwing the kitchen sink and the bathroom tub and the toilet to keep you off. All this different stuff coming out, all these secrets and blah, 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 blah. Now they're ready to talk about UFOs and aliens and all this stuff. Why now? Why now? Because as far as they're concerned, you're easily manipulated because you've got a parasite in your head called toxoplasma. Yeah. You've got another parasite that you don't think you have, which is the vapor of malaria. You don't even know you have it. Oh, I don't have malaria. Believe me, if we do a test, there's a test that we can show. A lot of folks got Helicobacter pylori and these super bugs. There's a lot of them. They might have a little anthrax in them because it's all a part of germ warfare. They dropped it in the environment on certain groups of people. But the poison don't just stay there. It gets sucked up into the wind stream, into the clouds, and into the water vapor. Yeah. We're talking about the chemtrails. The chemtrails are nothing compared to some of the other stuff that's out there. And I think they do that on purpose. Get you looking up, oh, they're doing chemtrails again. They're killing us. It's killing you now. But if you knew how to project your energy, you would create a bubble around yourself But to do that, you're going to have to get rid of plastic bedclothes, polyester, underwear, polyester, chemicals that you're sleeping in, stuff you're washing your clothes in. And why do you need Windex again? What happened to vinegar and water and paper towels or newspapers? There's a simple way that we will have to go back to. Otherwise, we're done. So the artificial intelligence started way before computers. It was the stories that you were being told, even as a child, that were not real. That's artificial. And now you think that you're intelligent, but your foundation was based on stories, on algorithms, on myths. And myths can be powerful, but you've got to be able to decode. So first, we got to decode Christmas. Yeah. When we decode Christmas, it decodes everything because the lights come on. So I'll see you on the 20th. You know, whatever you got to do, I'd be there if you can. Yeah. If you can. And if you can be online, be there. But we're saying that this is an offering for you, to you, from you. This is a public service message from yourself to yourself so that you can change your world, change your paradigm, change your outcome by changing your income, change your income by changing your outcome. This is an amazing time. I want to thank you, brother, for inviting me to Dallas. You're the first one to have me come to Texas.
Yep.
A lot of folks have tried and it, just kind of didn't happen in the past. So I'm glad that we're doing this. Those of you who are ready, willing, and able, this is it, because what I'll be talking about and what I'll be dropping is going to help free your mind so that your can follow. And the real revolution will not be televised and it won't be online.
Yeah.
Much love, brother. I'll see you soon. I'm going to log off now. I'm going
to finish up real quick. So,
finish up. And I'll see y'all on the 20th.
All right, brother.
And make sure you go get on my email list too at elevationtime.com.
Yeah.
Because I'll be doing a free webcast on this Saturday. So that's elevationtime.com.
Elevationtime.com.
Elevationtime.com. Okay. Much love, much power. And remember, travel light, because a lot of the luggage that you're carrying is not yours.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Peace and blessings. All right. So that's my guy, Doc B, you all. And as you know, if you didn't know anything about me, you can go and look. I'm into the alien stuff. Y'all should know that. I've been in 11 different TV shows. I'll put it up on the screen that you can see in everything else. And so just know that, of course, I've been on History Channel featuring on Ancient Aliens. I'm on HBO. I'm on Amazon Prime. I'm on Gaia. I'm on Fox Tubi. You can find me everywhere, Coast to Coast Radio. And so everything for me ties into this archons, these aliens, these things. That's just the thing, reptilians for me. But I do know they all called parasites. And no matter what they are, they're called parasites. And another thing, too, for those of you watching online, if you here and you're going to be in Dallas, that I think that code works for the in-person, too. I think it was a mistake. When I clicked the button, I just noticed it. But somebody just bought one. And I'm like, oh, how did they get the discount for coming in person? Well, I guess the code works. So anyway, I'll take it down tomorrow or whatever. So if there's something you decide, you make sure you do that. But anyway, this is 2026 and it has changed. Everything has changed a little bit. If you follow me on Instagram, we're on Facebook. And of course, I'm on YouTube, live podcast. And of course, we're doing what we call C4s in Dallas. If you are in Dallas, you want to come to our C4 event, which is called Conspiracy and Conscience Convergence Community, because it is time. Because there is a huge disconnect for people who, just like we're talking about these parasites and in the conscious, they're looking at vibration, but they keep missing that there is a conspiracy still happening to keep that vibration. And it's time for us to bring that together. So it's a free event. Saturday, this coming Saturday. If you're in Dallas, know anybody in Dallas, make sure they come, go on there on the same website, look it up, register, come into the event free. We're going to have sound healing in the beginning where we got all these sound bowls so you can do some sound therapy, and I think I have a clip of that. Maybe I can show just to kind real quickly. I think I have it here. So, I mean, we're just doing a lot, and it's just time for us to really do. Let me just play a quick clip. So you'll can bring the kids there and let them kind of get in a little bit, and as you see there, and like I said, it's our gift to you. It's our gift to you so that you know that the frequency of life has changed a lot, right? And it's a little different. I'm here to contest to it, to tell you, as I wear my sun solar plex energy. This is what you see right here, and it's shining bright. And as well as we talk about our throat chakras, and it's no more about just being a truth seeker. It's about being truth speakers, right? Speak the truth, learn the truth, and no longer just keep a long life of seeking answers, and all of a sudden you got paralysis by analysis. Just got to keep looking. It's time to do something. Either leave, follow, or get out of the way. That's the only choices we're going to have. So anyway, as always, I love you. I love each and every one of you. That's how I do it, in true love you. And here's, I look into this camera to tell you, and at least you won't wake up tomorrow not knowing that you were loved the day before. But I'm going to give you an extra I love you for tomorrow, so you can use that for energy and juice too, or whatever. But if you're in Dallas, you got friends in Dallas, make sure they come. Just support this thing as we're building a community. It's a tough task, but it is something not that I believe, it's something I know we're going to do, and we're doing. With that being said, it's been a plum, pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege tonight. I'm Roderick Martin. Because we're now live and on Instagram, I haven't done that forever, Facebook, and also YouTube right now. And so hopefully you all can do that. The last but not least, screenshot this. If you know somebody in our area, well, I guess it's not going to really show up. I'm seeing some buttons I got to click, and I'd rather not mess nothing up tonight. But anyway, so I'll see you probably, I can't wait, again, to see you. So go to the website tonight, get that Christmas, that code is on the screen. Make sure you get it, DEC 20 doc. And like I said, I will turn it off. I just thought about when he was talking to turn it on, and hey, it's a Saturday. You couple of hours, you can watch that portion of it from wherever you are in the world, and before Christmas. And I think that's more necessary. Y'all have a good one. Love each and every one of you. And stay where you are in life, or move forward. The choice is yours.
UFOs,
UAPs,
unidentified anomalous phenomena,
unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
all questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs.
A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Man, look at the fly!